Hello, boys and girls. Today I'm going to help you personalize your name by using either block letters or bubble letters. Before I get started showing you how to do that, I'd like to review the color wheel with you. If you look here, we have the very basic color wheel. We have the primary colors, which are yellow, blue, and red. And then we have the secondary colors, which are orange, green, and purple. If you would look, just as a reminder, the primary colors yellow, blue, and red are spaced out on the color wheel in a triangle. The reason green is between yellow and blue is because when we mix two primary colors together, we get the secondary color. So when we mix yellow and blue together, we get green. When we mix blue and red together, we get purple. And when we mix red and yellow together, we get orange. So again, that's why the secondary colors are between the primary colors. There's another way to separate these colors on the color wheel, and that is by the warm and the cool colors. The warm colors are here. If you look at my pointer, I am circling the warm colors. Those colors make us feel nice and warm. If you go outside, the sun makes us feel nice and warm. So we see a lot of yellow and orange in the sun, or maybe even fire makes us feel warm. And again, you see a lot of the reds, oranges, and yellows in the fire. The cool colors are green, blue, and purple. And here I'm circling those with my pointer. And the cool colors make us feel cool, like things that we think of when we think of cool. Snow. No, snow is white. It's not blue or purple, but we tend to see a little bit of a shading to those things. So we see a little bit of blue maybe in the snow. I think of grass, cool wet grass on my feet. Makes me think of the green, cool green. So again, we have the warm colors and the cool colors, and we're going to use those warm and cool colors to help us create our drawing today. Okay, for this project, you will need paper. I have a white drawing paper. You could use construction paper. You could use copy paper. You could even use, if you can't find any of those, construction paper or either a piece of colored construction paper or white lined paper will be fine. You're going to also need a pencil and eraser. I've chosen color pencils for this project. If you choose to use color pencils, make sure you have your pencil sharpener ready. And you could use markers if you would like. The only thing is, go ahead and make sure that you can find your cool colors and your warm colors, because we're going to need those. Now my video may go a little faster in some spots than you're able to keep up with. Just remember, anytime you feel like you're falling behind or you need a little extra time, just pause the video and then you can restart it when you're ready for the next step. I am going to show you step by step what to do. So again, as you need to, just pause the video so that you're able to keep up. Now I'm going to use my last name for my picture. I want you to use your first name. And I want you to start by counting how many letters are in your name. So in my name, my last name is Swinney. So I have 7 letters. I can't divide 7 in half evenly. So what I'm going to do, since I have an odd number, that odd letter is going to be right in the middle. The reason we're counting it out and counting how many letters we have in our name, and we're making sure we know where the middle should be, is so that we can space out the whole name. So if I have Swin, so my N should be in the middle. So I'm going to draw in the middle from side to side, find the middle, and that letter that should be in the middle, start with that. And that just helps me. I can space it out evenly. In. See how I'm making my letters nice and tall? And making sure that I leave a little space between each letter. Another thing, I'm drawing real dark so that you're able to see it easily on the video. You need to draw lightly because we're going to erase all these lines. So then, let's see. Trying to space them about the same. And my S and my W are kind of both a little bit fatter letters. S. Oh, you know what? I don't like that, so I'm going to erase it. Now remember, you're drawing light, so yours will be easier to erase. Mine's a little hard to erase right now because I drew so dark. Another thing with my videos, the cool thing is when you miss something or you don't quite understand something, you can keep rewinding and going back and forth. I want my S to look a little bit bigger. S, W, I. Now if I'm not happy with something, the spacing doesn't quite look right, now's the time to fix it. Now's the time to erase and fix. Again, draw real light so that you're not left with those indentions and those dark spots like I have. So while I'm cleaning up my name, I want you to go ahead and get your name all spaced out. Remember to count out how many letters are in your name. Start in the middle. Half of your letters on one side, half on the other side, because we want your whole name in one line across, and we want it spaced out evenly. Okay, now I have redrawn my name lighter so that it's easier for me to erase. I have all the lines that I don't want cleaned up. I've got everything spaced, everything's on the same line, so I'm ready for the next step. Now there's two ways we can do this. We can either go with bubble letters or block letters. I'm going to first show you block letters and then I'll show you bubble letters next. For block letters, all we do is we block off any straight edges, any stops, any points. Right here, I would stop, and right here, I would stop. And then I kind of outline my S. So that now that first S that I drew is on the inside. I'm going to do the same with my W. Making sure not to forget my dot for my I. If my letters touch, it's fine. And I'm just, again, any dead end, any end of my letters, I just block it off, and then I outline the rest of the letter. If my letters are overlapping some, so the next letter just stops so that it appears to go under the first letter. I did fix that a little bit, made it go up right there. And see how all of my letters are about the same height and my Y is down here? Just try to get your letters to be as close to the same height as possible. If your letter goes off the page, that's fine. If you don't want it to go off the page, I don't have any other letters off the page, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it so that this doesn't go off the page either. But if you have several letters that go off the page a little bit, that's fine. We don't want the whole letter hanging off the page, but a little bit will be fine. So I'm going to curve it a little bit. And make sure, see how it would go behind here? Make sure to get that. Okay. Again, right now might be a good time to stop and pause your video so that you're able to catch up with me. If you like bubble letters, I've done my first name. And with bubble letters, blocks, at the ends, we would make straight lines. With bubble letters, we just curve it. Now I can decide I can go straight or poofy. And you know what? I think I like it having a little bit more on there, so I'm going to fix this one to look more like that one. For the O, O's are tricky, along with the P. I didn't talk about it much in my E. You have to go on the inside. Every line for your name, every letter has to have two sides so that we can color it in. So for my O, I'm going to do the inside and the outside, like a donut. For the letter P, it's going to go over my E a little bit. Same thing, an outside and an inside. And then my E is going to be the same. I did draw a light. I hope you can see that on there. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. Makes it a little easier to see. So then you have two choices. You should have either chosen the poofy rounded letters or the block letters. Again, now is a good time for you to pause your video and get caught up with me. Now, once you get your letters the way you want them, you're happy with them, this is the reason I'm using a big eraser. You can just go in there using this big eraser and erase the pencil lines that you don't need. Those original letters that you drew, remember I asked you to draw them lightly? That's so that you can easily go back and erase. So now I have bubble letters. Once you get that all erased, cleaned up, make sure you've got your color pencils, markers, crayons, whatever you're going to use. Go ahead and make sure you have those ready. I've got a black. We're going to use the cool and warm colors, but I'm going to start with the black, and I'm just going to trace. Having a hard time, but just going to make a nice dark line for those lines I want to keep. Now I'm drawing a line, so I'm using the tip of the color pencil to draw my line. Smear. So Make sure you got your lines all traced. And then get ready to color. The next step, and remember, if whether you're using the block letters or the bubble letters, it doesn't matter. This step is the same for both. You just need to outline them real quick in black color pencil, and then we're ready to color. You get to choose. Do you want your letters to be the warm colors or the cool colors? My letters are going to be the cool colors. And because on the color wheel, it is green, then blue, then purple, then that's the order I'm going to put them in on my letters. I'm going to start with this N first and show you what I mean. And don't forget, when you're coloring with color pencils, you use the side of the color pencils. If you're using these thick markers like this, it's the same. You don't want to use the tip because we draw with the tip. You use the side to color in, and it covers more space. It's faster. So if I lay it down a little bit and color on the side, and I'm going to start on this N, the top's going to be green. And you see I'm going up and down with my coloring, and there's a reason behind that. I want to go up and down. I want the top to be very dark green. So I'll put a couple of coats up there. I'll color it a couple of times. And then I go down and get lighter. But I'm not going to color the whole thing green because then I'm going to color next blue. And I have a little blue. And the cool thing is I'm going to lightly color a little bit above it. And it's going to blend in with the green. So it looks like it's slowly turning from green to blue. Again, add a little pressure and then get a little bit lighter as it goes up. And it's going to do the same thing going down also. It's going to get lighter, lighter, and then the bottom's going to be purple. If you would like to use the warm colors, you would do the same thing with yellow, orange, and red, except yellow would be at the top, orange would be in the middle, and red would be at the bottom. So don't rush through this coloring. Take your time with it. I know everyone's having a hard time adjusting to this new school schedule and everything. So enjoy your coloring time. Coloring helps your brain to kind of release some negativity, and help coloring just gives you some time to kind of just relax. So you should be either using your warm colors or your cool colors to color in the whole name. If your black line, see how my black line's not showing up quite enough between these letters to make sure they're separated? So I'm just going to go back. I guess I didn't press down hard enough to make it a nice black line. There, see how that separates it a little bit more? Makes it show up better. Okay. All right, so I'm going to work on mine. I want you to go ahead and work on yours and get it completely filled in. All right, so I just finished coloring mine up. I remembered a few things that I didn't tell you while I was first introducing this. With the color pencils, I did tell you with color pencils you do need to use the tip on an angle on the side so that you're coloring more space at one time instead of using just the very tip. But another thing, when you get your streaks like this, you want to go across the other direction to smooth it out. And I'm not sure if it's picking it up there or not, but it does help smooth it out when you're filling in some of those empty white spaces that you may have missed the first time. It does make it a lot darker too, so you want to be careful. Of course, when you press down a little harder, it gets darker. When you cover it up again, it gets darker. So just be careful not to make it too dark. Around my letters, colored in the whole background. You know how I like not to leave any white spaces. So I'm just going back and filling in those little white spaces. Since I did my letters in the cool colors, I chose a warm color for the background. I want you to do the same. If you would like to use just one of the opposite colors like I did, or you could use all three. You could do the same thing we did in the letters, except with the opposite colors. And you could put let's say for me, I could have done a yellow, orange, and then red. That's your choice. But I do want you to finish the whole background. If you just want to color it one solid color, that's fine. If you want to get a little creative and add something, that's fine. But you can only use, if you used cool colors on your letters, you can only use warm colors on the background. If you used warm colors on your letters, you can only use cool colors on your background. So like I said, I'm going back and I'm touching everything up and smoothing it out. Another thing I forgot to talk to you about is when you're using color pencils, the best way to sharpen it when it's time is to twist it 2 times. 1, 2, and then use it for a little while and then do it again. If you just keep sharpening until you get a real sharp tip on it, you'll use up your color pencils in no time. No one likes coloring with a little tiny color pencil. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this project. I want you to make sure to go ahead and load this onto Artsonia when you're done. That's how I will know that you completed the project, and that's how you'll get credit for finishing it. If you're not sure about Artsonia, go ahead. Below this video should be a link to the instructions. Get your parents to help you sign up. Once you get signed up and you figure out how it works, you can probably do it all by yourself next time. But again, that's how I keep up with all of your participation. That's how I keep track of what you've done. And also, the cool thing is, if you remember using Artsonia before, they not only keep up with all of your artwork as a digital portfolio, but they also give you the opportunity, if you would like, you can order things with your artwork on it. You do not have to. You can use the portfolio without purchasing things, but if you would like to, you could. If you have any questions, if Artsonia won't work for you, just send me an email and I'll get on it and see what needs to be fixed. But everything, as far as I know, is working right now. I appreciate you watching my video. I can't wait to see your artwork, and I can't wait to see you.